welcome to 50 Shades of Shilamida, episode 10, with your hostess, Shilamida. Today, I want to bring in the topic of gratitude because October is ending and November is starting. And here in the States, in November, we celebrate Thanksgiving, and everybody seems to always be grateful on Thanksgiving. But I like to be grateful every single day. And so I love to bring this topic forward in the beginning of the month because in the area where I live in, it gets really cold and dark and gloomy over the next week or so when the times change. And it sometimes is really hard to be grateful. It's hard to get motivation when there's not a lot of sunshine. It's hard to be happy. And so instead of being thankful once a year, what if we were grateful every single day? And so for the last 7 years, I have hosted a gratitude challenge every single November. This November will be the same. It is just happening a little different. I am offering it free. So if you're listening, get excited because you get to participate with me. And what I do is I lead my clients and strangers and whoever decides to participate in gratitude exercises every single day. Now, when you ask somebody, are you grateful? Most of the time you'll get a response that is, of course I'm grateful. But then when you ask somebody, are you actually grateful 20 times a day? Do you put forth the effort and intention into it? You kind of get a different look and a different answer and response. And the thing is that people think that they're grateful, but most people are actually super negative. And I know this because I used to be one of those negative people. And to be honest with you, I still am one of those negative people. I actually work really hard to be happy. I work really hard to be kind. I work really hard to be positive because my initial reaction to things is negative. I see the glass half full before I see it half empty, before I see it half full. And I can walk into a room and I can pick apart everything that I hate about the room, or walk into a party and see all of the faults. And it takes a lot of work in order to be able to see all of the positives and be able to be grateful. And so in this game of gratitude and living a positive lifestyle, the first thing that you need to do is you need to become aware of your negative thoughts. And most people are not, because it is a big blow to the ego to take a look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you're negative and you complain a lot. I know, because I've had to go through this process with myself many a times over the last many years. And the awareness of anything is the key to your existence. The awareness of knowing when you're negative, when you're positive, when you're being grateful, because the goal is not to live a perfect, grateful life 24/7. That just doesn't exist. The goal is to be grateful and positive at least 50% of the time. So if you think about your day, your alarm goes off, you're already cranky, you don't want to get up, you're tired, you went to sleep late, the kids wouldn't go to sleep on time, now you got to get to work, you got to get the kids out the door, you got to get lunches made, you sit in traffic, your boss is being a dick, and the list goes on and on and on. So before you've even eaten lunch, you've already maxed out your negativity for the day, and you don't even know it because that is your everyday existence. So now we're bringing awareness to this. What if you were to shift your existence and start your day different? What if before the alarm even went off in the morning, you were able to wake up, or when the alarm went off, and you started your day with gratitude? Thank you for being alive today. Thank you for waking up today. Thank you for having a bed to sleep in today. Thank you for the clean sheets on my bed. Thank you for the fresh air that I breathe. We take these things for granted. Because the bed, when was the last time you were grateful for your bed, or the sheets on your bed, or the fact that you're even alive today? The reality of our existence is that tomorrow is not guaranteed. So the fact that we have life today is such a gift. How many people went to sleep last night and they did not wake up this morning? And the big game changer for me was not just being grateful, but when I started being grateful to God. And God used to be a real dirty word for me because we have a whole lot of religions that have a whole lot of rules to them, and I don't prescribe to any of them. I think that your relationship with God is one of you and who you feel is the creator, source, the energy of our existence. And so once you find your relationship with God, everything changes. And it's okay if you grew up in religion and you don't agree with what your religion says, because I believe that religion is man-made. And so once you've created your relationship with the Creator, I bet that you're going to start waking up before that alarm even goes off. And I'll give you an example. I have been waking up with the alarm and being cranky and all of the things that go with it. And last night before I went to sleep, I said, God, you wake me up tomorrow. And so I got a real early wake up today. I don't necessarily love those either, but then when you wake up before the alarm, it actually shifts your entire day. And so when you set the intention with God, source, universe, whoever you want to put your intention out there with, you're going to see that things are going to start to shift and change in your favor. And what I do now is not only do I wake up and I thank God for being alive, I also take the time to meditate in the morning. So again, that can look however you want it to look. It could be a guided meditation. It could be a sitting in silence and seeing what you come up with. It could be anything you desire. I personally like doing guided meditations, and so that's what I do, and it makes it all okay. And so what happens when we start being grateful every day is that we actually open up our connection to God or source or universe, Mother Nature. And when you have this straight connection to God, you get to start manifesting, because in gratitude we receive. The thing is that a lot of people, when they talk to God, they beg God. They ask God. They say, please, God, do this for me. Please, God, and they start to make deals with God. If you do this, I'll do this. If you give me this, I'll be this way. And so when you're doing that, you're actually in lack energy because you already don't have. And so you're begging or you're asking for God to do something for you. But in gratitude, you're thanking God for the thing. So when we talk about manifestation and we say to act as though, that's what that means, because you're thanking God as though you already have it. So it's not, please God, do this for me. It's thank you, God. And you're feeling the actual feelings of the things that you desire as though you already have them. And it shifts and it changes everything. So when you start being grateful every day, you see that your life starts shifting because you actually start appreciating the things that you've let yourself take for granted. So things like running water, Wi-Fi, having a washer and dryer, being able to go to the store and buying food and clothes. And if you're listening to this podcast, most likely you have access to a lot of these things. But I can tell you that there was a time when I was living on food stamps that I did not have a washer and dryer in my apartment, and I hated doing laundry. I did not have central air, so I hated my air conditioner. I did not have money for new things, so I despised when I saw other people buying new things. And so when I made the shift in my life and I started being grateful that I was able to wash my clothes, forget about the fact that I had to walk across the street with a bag full of quarters in order to do it, but just the fact that I was able to wash my clothes and have clean clothes is such a luxury that so many people in this world don't have. And that's where you need to take yourself when you're really living a life where you're kind of oblivious. And that's part of the reason why we have so many problems in our life right now, is because most people just take things for granted. We expect things to be there, and we forget that there is an entire existence of people who don't have enough food, who don't have clean water, who don't have clean air, who don't have a pair of shoes, and we don't think about those people. We don't put that on the forefront of our minds because It just doesn't matter in our everyday life. But in the process of going from food stamps to first class, that's really what I needed to do. I really needed to put myself in a place of compassion for other people and realize that I do not have everything that everybody else has, or I do have everything that other people don't have. And it was a really big shift in my existence because Facebook had just started when I was going through this process, and I used to look at people with such envy and such jealousy, like, why does she have and I don't? Why did they get that and I don't? And I really had a hard time with it. But when I started looking at it through a lens of love instead of a lens of envy, like, oh, look at that. I love the fact that she has that. I love the fact that she's showing me that. I love that that's possible for me too. And I changed the belief system, because when we look at others in envy and jealousy, it's because we think that we're not able or we're not capable to have the same things. We come at it in a lack perspective. But when we change the thought process and we use what we see as evidence of what life could be like, it shifts and changes everything. So all of this starts with just being grateful every day. It is like the simplest thing that you could do. We're not going to change your entire personality overnight. We're not going to change your entire belief system overnight either. But what we can do is we can shift your existence, we can shift your awareness, and we can shift the energy that's around you. So I invite you to join me for my free gratitude challenge this year. It will be hosted on Facebook. I might also push it over to Instagram, seeing how I feel. And it is an invitation for you to come be grateful with me, for you to come and learn how to shift the energy so that the energy works for you, not against you, how to connect with God, Source, the universe, how to meditate, how to just be free in your body, in your existence, without the complaining, without the negative self-talk, without being surrounded by misery, because that's the way that most people survive. And you deserve better than that. You did not come into this human existence in order to just be blah, right? We came here to live extraordinary lives, and I have touched heaven on earth, and I am excited to share with you how I've done that so that you can do it too. I thank you for joining me today. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you listening to the show, liking the show, rating the show, sharing it with a friend, spreading the love, because that's how we make this place a better place to be. I hope that you have the most amazing day, and I will see you on the internet. Bye.